Hey there, early risers. If you've ever caught yourself wide awake at 3 a.m. and running through your to do list, or let's be honest, planning your next to do list, this is your Sunday. I want you to tackle anxiety head on. I want you to be ready to trade your racing thoughts for real peace of mind. So grab your lemon water or your coffee and buckle up because we're going to talk today about hushing that hamster wheel of anxiety that's in your head and stepping into calm. This is the Sunday morning 7 a.m. club, and it starts right now.
Welcome to the Sunday Morning Club, the place where we battle burnout and brew up bold ideas, preferably over a steamy cup of coffee. I'm Fay Chapple, and I'm your ringleader for these re-energizing Sundays. If you're ready to crack the code on resetting your mindset, rebooting your goals, and laughing a little along the way, well, you're in the right place. So let's dive in.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Sunday morning 7 a.m. club. This is your weekly dose of recalibration for your mind, your body, and your energy. I'm Fay Chapple, and today we're tackling a topic that, if you're in the 3 a.m. Overthinkers Club, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It is called anxiety. You know what it is. It's that gnawing feeling that shows up really unannounced, like an annoying neighbor, right? Who you don't want to stop dropping by, but you want to say, hey, maybe you can come back another day when I have some time. Did you forget that maybe I'm busy on Tuesdays? Yeah, that's anxiety in a nutshell. But here's the thing. Anxiety isn't just about being a little worried. It can really trickle down to every part of your life, your work, your relationships, and your sleep. Last week we talked about burnout. This is a little bit different. This is anxiety. But the good news is you've got proven methods to keep it in check. Okay, so today we're going to talk really about understanding the real root causes of anxiety and why it's not just all in your head. We're going to talk about practical science-based techniques that you can start literally using immediately. We started with breathing techniques last week. We did journaling, it's a little bit of movement, and we're going to add in some manifestation. So before we go any further, if you do want to download your journal, feel free to. It is on the link below, or you just go to sundaymornings.club and you can download it there, or grab a piece of paper and pencil and you can go ahead and do it that way. And then obviously, as I said last week, grab your trusty either glass of hot lemon water or your coffee or your tea, whatever you need today. So we're going to talk about a simple framework that really breaks you free from that anxiety loop, right? And try to reclaim your power, right? So again, grab your water, grab your book. We're ready to go. Let's start, as we always do, with understanding what anxiety really is, because it is more than just overthinking. It's that gripping feeling in your chest, those racing thoughts, that 2 a.m. what if spiral, right? That it's about as fun as literally stepping on your children's Lego or something that really is immediately painful for a second, then it sort of dissipates. But let's define it properly. Anxiety is really a state of excessive worry and fear, right? It's often accompanied by physical feelings like racing heart, tension headaches, I know that's what I get, or sweaty palms. You've always heard of sweaty palms and anxiety, right? And it happens because it's a combination of factors. It happens from past experiences, and it can happen from current stressors. So any trigger can cause anxiety to happen in your body. And it's really your body's way of saying, hey, something's up and we need to pay attention to it, right? Instead of just ignoring it. So what are the signs that you might think show up as anxiety spirals, right? So constant restlessness or feeling on edge. Do you ever do that? That's my big one too. I always feel on edge. Like I just feel like something's bothering me and I don't really know why. You might have trouble focusing, 5 minutes into a task and your mind's planning what I'm going to do next, or thinking all of a sudden thinking about going on vacation, like you just can't focus. You might have physical symptoms, like we said. It could be your chest is very tight. You might have muscle tension, right? Or an upset stomach. A lot of people get nauseous. You might have racing thoughts through your head about future disasters or regrets you've had in the past. They just come up, even though you think you've dealt with them, they come back up again. And then a big one is changes in your sleep patterns, right? You might just be, going to sleep for 2 hours and then waking up and don't know what to do, or you just put on Netflix because you can't fall asleep. You don't know what to do in order to get back. It's another one of mine. I have quite a few of them I've had in the past, but I have learned to manage them. So my big quote for the day for you guys, write this down so you can remember: don't believe everything you think. Is that a good one? Don't believe everything you think. Think about it for a second. We tend to latch on to every worry as if it's 100% fact, right? But those are just probably anxious thoughts. They're often more fiction than reality. So if you've ever had your mind hijacked by worry, I want you to say, nod your head, say yes. You can type it in the chat, whatever you think, but it is something that we're all in together, right? When your mind is just hijacked and you can't do anything else. So if you've had any of that coming, we're going to give you some tips and tricks today to make it work. Last week, we started using the M3 formula, which is mindset, movement, moderation. Plus, we're going to add manifestation today because we didn't do it last week, because we're sort of slowly going into the process, right? So by the end of this session today, I'm going to try to give you a full toolkit to calm your mind, to lighten your load, and to face life with a little bit more clarity. And hopefully, we're going to do basically an anxiety reset formula today. Okay, so we're going to break it down into actionable steps, and it's no more theory here. We're going to actually start calming our nervous system. How do we do it? Do you guys remember from last week? We always start with breathing and grounding. Okay, so calming that nervous system is very, very important. Anxiety often keeps your body stuck in a fight or flight mode, like you're perpetually auditioning for an action movie, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our breathing. We started last week with 4-7-8 breathing, and I'm hoping that you practice it each and every day. I want to start with that again, okay? So I want to make sure that we have been doing it. If you haven't been doing it, it's okay. We're going to start again today. So, you ready? Sitting nice and comfortably, right? I want you to close your eyes. That's actually better for you. And I want you to inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale slowly for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone got that? Okay, we're going to do it again. You can inhale through your nose, hold, exhale through your mouth. However you want to exhale. I want you to continually doing this. We're going to do it 4 more times. Ready? Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling slowly 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You should be feeling that wave of calm, right? That's the parasympathetic nervous system kicking in. That should be starting to make you feel better. I want you to do this exercise at least twice a day, in the morning when you get up and in the evening. You can do it anytime you're starting to feel anxious. This will completely calm you down and slow your mind down. 478 is just one. You can use any one you want. There's one that's very simple to understand. It's 5-5-5. So inhaling 5, holding 5, exhaling 5. I like to try to build you up so that your exhale is a little longer, so you can actually take all of that tension out of your body. But whatever one works for you is fine. So again, 5 times in the morning, 5 times in the evening at minimum. And then in the afternoon or whenever you're feeling anxious, I want you to try it. So what I want you to do now is try a grounding exercise. So the same breathing, I want you to place your feet firmly on the floor. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to visualize roots extending from your soul and into the earth. So it's coming up through the soul, those roots, and they're going down into the earth, right? So with each breath, I want you to imagine drawing up that calm energy from the earth and then releasing tension back down through those roots. This can be standing up, right? Because we're grounding. If you prefer to sit, I want you to feel the same thing. So sit down in a comfortable space. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to plant yourself firmly on the floor so you can feel your bum on the floor, and it is connecting to the ground, connecting to the earth. So I want you to close your eyes. I want you to again visualize roots extending from the bottom of where you're sitting to the top of your head and then back down again. So if you're standing, it's a better exercise because you can really ground your feet. But for those of you who can't and are joining us on a chair, this is fine. If you're on a chair, it's great to plant your feet on the floor and visualize the exact same thing. So as you breathe in, I want you to imagine that calming energy coming up, going all the way through your body, all the way to the top of your head. You can feel that wave of calm. And then as you exhale, I want you to imagine all of the tension and stress leaving your body, releasing through those roots, through your feet and into the ground. Okay, so I want you to really take a moment to do that, because if you start breathing and allowing yourself to feel grounded through the roots of your feet, through the bottom, wherever you're sitting, grounded on the floor, then you will start to feel that subtle shift, like you can breathe again, because that's you resetting your internal alarm system, right? And so if you wake up in the middle of the night, it's a great way to visualize yourself grounding down and breathing in and breathing out. It's an excellent exercise. When one of my favorite exercises to do, if the weather is nice, a walking meditation. It's the same thing. We're going to dive deep into walking meditation in the next coming weeks, but for today, I want you to think about when you're walking. If you're going for a walk, I want you to really feel your feet grounding onto the pavement, onto the grass, onto the gravel, wherever you are. If you have the luxury of having a grass around you and a comfortable space, take your shoes off. Feel grounded into the earth, and then do your breathing exercises. However you want to do it, I guarantee you it will start calming you. So let's talk a little bit about manifestation. Really turning that worry into possibility. Last week, we realized that we kind of skipped meditation because I didn't want to give you too much in the first week. But this time, we're going to add it in. So manifestation isn't about conjuring up Ferraris. It's not about if you build it, they will come. It's about rewiring your mental chatter, right? From doom and gloom to I can do it, I'm okay. So I want you to close your eyes again. Please do it. Don't be looking at me. Close your eyes and picture a version of you who feels calm and in control. Can you do that? Close your eyes and think of a picture or a version of yourself when you look calm and in control. Okay? Picture that in your mind. And now I want you to say to yourself, either out loud or in your internal voice, depending on where you are, I manifest a mind that's clear and a heart that's steady. I release fear and I invite peace and possibility. Let's do that again. I manifest a mind that's clear and a heart that's steady. I release fear and I invite peace and possibility. You don't have to say this exact manifestation, but I want you to understand the thought behind it. I want you to simply, as you're doing your breathing exercises, move one step after that, add the manifestation in by closing your eyes, picturing yourself very calm and at peace, and saying words similar to these. Let's do it one more time. Keep your eyes closed. I manifest a mind that's clear and a heart that's steady. I release fear and I invite peace and possibility. Keep your eyes closed. I want you to visualize your ideal day. I want you to visualize waking up without that knot in your stomach, easily handling challenges and ending the day quite proud of what you've accomplished and relaxed. Okay, pause for a few minutes here and really visualize. It's going to feel a little awkward at first, but I want you to stick with it because your brain believes what you repeatedly tell it, right? Let's say that again. Your brain believes what you repeatedly tell it. So why not tell it something good, right? Start the day with telling it something good. So do we have that manifestation, that visualization in? I want you to make sure you're adding it to right after your breathing techniques. Add this in the morning as well. I guarantee you will start feeling lighter. Okay. Speaking of lighter, our next session really is about unloading that mental backpack. It's about journaling, right? You guys have your planners or you have a piece of paper. So think about, all that clutter that's in that, that junk drawer in your kitchen. I think everybody has one. So your mind can get like that. It's too stuffed. It's half baked with worries and what ifs. And journaling is like really, how many of you have read Marie Kondo, right? Who talks about cleaning up your clutter. We actually do a session on clutter clearing, and I'll give you those links below as well. But think of that the same way, right? So think of your brain as that kitchen junk drawer. What are the top 3 things that are causing you the most worry right now? So ask yourself the question, right? And then I want you to write down your answers. What are the top 3 things causing me the most worry right now? Give you a few minutes. Oh, my microphone isn't picking up my gulping. When you write those down, for each worry, each of the 3, what's one small action that you can take right? To let go of it, right? What can I take a little action to start letting go of it? Don't overthink it, okay? Just right. You might find that your biggest worries don't stand a chance when they're on paper, right? They shrink because you've obviously given it awareness now, correct? Right? You see all of a sudden that you're looking at it. So let's think about it. What are the three things that give you the most amount of worry? Well, for me, one of mine, I'm giving you an example, was my lack of sleep. I was not good at sleeping throughout the night for years. And so I finally realized that wasn't normal. So I found a naturopath and I worked with her to put me on a plan to figure out a solution. And we did. And so now it's much better than it was. But that was my action. My action was, I'm going to get help for this because I've tried everything on my own and it isn't working. And given that I'm a meditation teacher and this is what I do, and it was helping. Absolutely. I would have been a mess if I hadn't been doing these breathing and manifestations and meditation exercises. However, I still needed a little more help. And maybe it was something in my chemical makeup in my blood that I needed. I wasn't having a certain amount of things that I needed, my body needed to help me relax. So think of anything you can for those three worries that you have to help you move forward, right? Help you move forward. So 3 little things. Okay. So we've done our breathing, our meditation, journaling, essentially, or visualization. And so now I really want to talk a little bit about movement for a minute. Last week we started with our shaking exercise, right? And I still want to stick with that because a lot of you came back to me and said, I can't believe that actually worked. Because remember what we talked about with anxiety in the beginning, we said that it can cause a lot of tension in the body. So, when you feel tight, you just feel tight when you're anxious, and it's hard to describe, but it's true. So anxiety really isn't just in your head, right? It likes to crash on your couch and eat all your your snacks, basically. It eats your energy. So what we need to do is we need to use movement to kick it out, right? So we started with shakeout exercises last week. Remember that? So I want you to either stand, which is preferable, but stand and start shaking your shoulders, right? Shaking your shoulders, shaking your arms, shaking your hips. I want you to bounce lightly on the balls of your feet. You can, or in your chair. I just want you to go up and down. And I want you to just think about, again, Taylor Swift's Shake It Off. I want you to think about just shaking all that anxiety and tension off of your body, right? So as we shake, we're getting rid of all that stuff that's clinging to us. So anywhere you are, if you are alone, great. Shaking can be dancing. Just shake it out. Put some music on and shake it out. Whatever you feel will work for you, right? But shaking is one of the best things that you can do, from the top of your body all the way down to your toes, right? All the way down. And then I want you to think about what else can you incorporate into your morning to move beyond just shaking. So what I suggest is some simple stretches, a short yoga flow. There's plenty of things on YouTube. I can put a few things here for you, and I can do it with you. But remember, we're easing in as we go the weeks ahead. So I want you to do some simple stretches. Just for example, bring your neck over to the side. Bring it up and bring it down to the other side. This is only the way we're going to start, right? And then lower your head down and lower it back up. And then do some circles. Try to just get some movement in. You will start to feel all that tension moving away. Everyone always thinks that movement is about hardcore cardio or exercise. It's not. Let's just move our shoulders up and down. Simple stretches is where it starts. And with controlled breath work, right? So you can breathe in. Think about this, breathing in for 4 as we did. 1, 2, 3, 4, holding for the 7. And as we breathe out, we can lower our shoulders back down. All of that works. It doesn't matter what you do. There's a great one to relieve tension, releasing the vagus nerves. You guys have probably heard about that a lot. So here's an interesting one, okay? I want you to look forward. Now I want you to move your head to the side as far as you can. And make a mental note of where that is, okay? And now I want you to go forward, and then I want you to go to the other side. Make a note of how far you can leave. Some of you might only be able to turn a tiny bit. That's okay. Now I want you to basically take your hands. I want you to put them at the back of, we're taking a V and we're putting them at the back. Now what I want you to do, very simple, is what I want you to do is just with your eyes, I want you to go to the right and look as far as you can without moving your head to the right. And then you will stay there until you start feeling something happen, like you might want to yawn. Hold it. When you feel a yawn coming up, let it go, and now move your eyes to the left. As far as you can to the left until you feel something happening, whether it's a yawn or some type of release. You will feel it. Just hold on to it. Remember, eyeballs to left as far as you can. Once you feel it, I want you to look back and I want you to take your hands down. And now I want you to do the same thing. Go to the right. And wow, all of a sudden, you can move much more towards each side. That was a release exercise for that vagus nerve that you've heard about, right? So might feel silly, but your system, your nervous system loves it. It's telling your body, we're releasing this. We're safe. We have this, right? How cool is that? Does that make a difference? So we talked last week about a little bit about nutrition and about fueling a calm mind, right? It's not just woo-woo. What you drink and what you eat can crank up your anxiety, or you can dial it down. We talked at great length about water and dehydration, right? Because dehydration can mimic anxiety systems. So sometimes when you have racing hearts or lightheadedness, it might just mean you're actually just dehydrated and you're not having anxiety or a panic attack. So the first thing I always tell everyone to do is make sure they go have some water and see if that starts calming your systems down. That might make a massive difference. So please make sure you're constantly rehydrating all day long. We talked about just taking sips throughout the day, really, really important. Number 2 is think about what you're eating. This is not a nutrition class, but you know what you're supposed to have. Fresh fruits, leafy greens, whole grains, right? That stabilize blood sugar, right? Roller coaster blood sugar is roller coaster emotions. So think about that. If you roller coaster blood sugar, so if your blood sugar is going up and down, then your emotions are going up and down. So if you find yourself anxious and you grab a candy bar, chocolate bar, then what's going to happen is your blood sugar is going to rise, right? You're going to feel great, and then you're going to crash, and then you're going to feel bad. So the best way to combat that and to make sure you keep your anxiety in check is to just eat healthy food. There's no secret here. It's really simple. Fresh fruits, leafy greens, whole grains, just real, pure, clean food. If you are an anxious person, if you're on anxiety meds, this is really something important you need to do. You need to look at what you're eating in nutrition and change that. So a lot of people have anxiety say, that's great, Faye, but I don't have time to make all this food. So what I'm going to suggest is that every couple of days, once a week, you start packing up. Take 1 hour and start packing up lunches that are healthy, that are ready for you in the fridge so that you can grab them and eat something healthy at lunchtime to keep that blood sugar stable so that you're not constantly on that roller coaster. If you have been anxiety meds for a long time, or you have anxious issues throughout the day, I really want you this week to focus on maybe putting together a plan or a reflection that tells you what you're eating and how you feel at that time, right? What you're eating and how you feel. There's a big difference because I guarantee that if you start nourishing your body with healthy foods, your emotions will start to calm and you'll start feeling better overall. So it's really important. For those of you who love coffee, I love coffee. And, some of us think coffee is life in the morning, but what you're doing is if you're fueling yourself with 10 cups a day, don't be surprised if your heart starts racing, right? That it's just I believe in moderation. That's part of the M3 formula. It's moderation in movement, in exercise, and moderation in food and things you put in your body. So coffee's fine. I drink coffee every single morning. I have one in the morning. I don't drink 10 during the day because that's where it can cause a shift, right? So these simple shifts in your diet can truly smooth out your mood, right? Think of it as an internal chill pill. And you can still have coffee, right? Just maybe not the entire pot, right? Just have 1 cup of coffee. Okay, we're going to expand a little bit on, for those of you who are still with us, on the nutrition and hydration, right? And about science-backed information. So one thing that I've read a lot about is magnesium, and it's really good for your nervous system. So magnesium plays really a crucial role in regulating those neurotransmitters, right? That calm the brain. So low magnesium can actually amplify anxiety and insomnia. So how do we increase this without having to go get a blood test and work and see what our doctor wants us to supplement? There's some easy ways. Number one is just take a green boost, right? Add spinach or kale to your morning smoothie. They are packed with magnesium that will really help you. If you like to snack on crunchy things, try pumpkin seeds. They are extra magnesium punch, and you can have them roasted, unsalted preferably, but whatever you prefer, right? And consider a quality magnesium supplement if your naturopath suggests that might be the way to go. I like Natural Calm. That's one of my favorite powders that I can mix up. But think about it, because in 2017, there was a review in Nutrients, I think the magazine, that linked higher magnesium intake to lower levels of stress and anxiety, right? That's amazing. I know it's worked for me. So think about it. It might be something that works for you too. And then check with your naturopath, because B vitamins are really good for brain chemistry, right? B vitamins, B6, B9, B12 are really cofactors in producing serotonin and dopamine, and deficiencies in B's can actually worsen anxiety. Now, do not just go to the store and take B vitamins. I want you to consult with a doctor or naturopath to make sure that you do need them. But what can you do in the meantime to add it in food? Because I believe that food medicine is the number one way that you can add things in. So if you want to get B's, then have legumes. Lentils, chickpeas, add those to your meals, right? That will help you, give you a boost of the folate that you might need. Eggs, nutritional yeast, if you're plant-based, these all have B12 in them. Daily B complex supplements are great if, again, you've worked with a naturopath or your doctor to say, yeah, this is a supplement, is something you need. Whenever I say supplements, you don't need supplements if you get it through your food. But if you don't, then it's a great way to make sure that you do. In 2020, I believe, there was a study in one of the nutritional neuroscience journals that found that adequate B vitamin intake can, again, significantly reduce stress, right? Significantly reduce stress. So if you are believing that you need a little help, then again, I would always revert towards the food opportunity more than the supplements. And then omega-3 is known to help inflammation and mood. So omega-3s are essentially what they do is they reduce inflammation in the brain, which most of the research suggests that it may be linked to anxiety and to depression. So how do we get omega-3s without just taking fish oil? Well, we can eat fatty fish like salmon, and fatty fish doesn't mean it's bad for us, right? So we can eat salmon or sardines, for example, maybe once or twice a week. That will help. Or you can take plant-based. So what has omega in it? Chia seeds, flax seeds, algae-based supplements. I'm a vegetarian, so what I do is I take a plant-based, same as like a fish oil, but it's plant-based. I take that, and then I add chia seeds and flax seeds into my morning protein smoothie. So that really helps me. Lots of studies note that supplementing omega-3, it shows a fairly measurable decrease in anxiety over several weeks. It doesn't take long for it to work. So if any of these resonate with you, I would go ahead and do them. And then again, avoid that sugar caffeine roller coaster, right? Because spikes in that blood sugar, right? Donuts and the rest of that, even though they taste good, they can mimic anxiety symptoms like palpitations and jitterness. And so how many of you have ever had like a lot of coffee and then you're like this, right? You're jittering. That is the same kind of feeling as anxiety, and you don't want that. So try to maintain a moderate selection of those things. So what can we do next week in the nutrition area? We can swap out one daily sugary snack for a piece of fruit or a handful of nuts, right? So if you're used to the 3 o'clock crash and you grab a muffin or a donut or a cookie, instead grab a piece of fruit or some nuts. And I always, for me, I like presentation. So for me, if I get a bowl of, I put nuts in a really pretty bowl, and then it just looks like a special treat instead of grabbing them out of a bag. So you can use those little tricks to make you feel better about it. And again, cut back on those coffees, right? So if you're doing 3, cut down to 2, and then maybe in a couple of weeks you'll cut down to 1. It is painful at first, but your nerves will absolutely thank you. Chronic high sugar intake is associated with increased cortisol levels, correct? Right? The stress hormone. And in lots of neuroscience studies, they indicate that high caffeine combined with high stress can worsen your anxiety system. So think about it. If you're taking caffeine and you're putting sugar in it, that's actually double dosing and making it far, far worse. So you need to stop doing that. Okay. And think about that gut-brain connection, because 90% of serotonin receptors are in the gut, right? So if you balance that gut flora, you can improve that mood regulation. So what should we do? Again, probiotic-rich foods, yogurts, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, easily available. You don't have to like any of them. If you just like yogurt, just have a probiotic yogurt. Again, read the label, because if it's full of sugar, that's not the one to choose. And if none of that is appealing to you, you can take a probiotic supplement. Again, check with your naturopath or your doctor, right? Because probiotics, if you take them for at least, I think 3 or 4 weeks, you'll see a significant reduction in anxiety, right? That's what all the studies have shown. So this week, I want you to really focus on hydrating, eating good food, and think about where else you can add magnesium, B vitamins, omega-3s, reduce your caffeine, reduce your sugar. Okay, I don't want you to do this all. I don't want you to write everything down and go, oh my God, I have so much to do. These are simple little things that I want you to think about doing over the next week to add them. Remember, we're not doing the marathon. We're adding simple little things each and every day, and we're building and building and building, right? That's really key. And so, and then again, so we've talked a lot about nutrition. And then for movement, I want you to really think about just doing a 5-minute yoga sequence that soothes anxiety, right? or you can do a 5-minute, 10-minute walk that will help you soothe anxiety. And so if we were doing yoga, I would suggest you do just a 5-minute, very simple, anything that will help you to calm. So simple as a child's pose or cat cow, which is just stretching. You can do cat cow as you're sitting. So if you're sitting here, you can just simply, when we do cat cow, we lengthen our body up and then we release it back in. What we're doing is just simple stretching. If you want to do proper cat cow, then that is just being on your on all fours in tabletop position. You hear about downward dog and the benefits of yoga. They are huge. They really are. But what we're trying to do is just giving you simple things to begin. So whether it is shaking, stretching, right? Moving your body, that's all we're doing. Simple little pieces that will help you along the way. So combining those nutrition tweaks with the simple 5-minute yoga or 10-minute walk is going to change you both inside and outside. So inside, good nutrition, it'll balance those neurotransmitters so your body isn't working overtime to maintain calm, right? Outside, yoga and mindful movement can create really a safe container that will release tension physically, right? It will settle your mind, right? So if we know, I'll give you a good example for those of you who have dogs. You know what zoomies are? You know when they keep zooming? Right. They're getting rid of all their tension. So what happens? They zoom, 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 and then they just chill. So I want you to think about it the same way. I want you to move so you can release all that tension so you can chill too. So in just a few days, you might notice that you're not snapping at your inbox notifications or your family as much, right? Maybe that 2 a.m. worry train might start feeling less frequent, right? So consistency is key. 5 minutes of yoga, dietary changes, thinking about your calmer mind, breathing, journaling, manifesting, all of that can be done in 1 hour, right? In 1 hour, that can all be done. So I want you to think of all that as we go forward. So I think it's really, really important that you're focused on the simple things that we've done today, that we did last week. Anxiety is really about reflecting what's happening, why you're having anxious issues, and then dealing with it in a calm, reasonable manner. So you might be wondering, can I do these techniques once and it works? What if anxiety comes back, right? So kind of like, unwanted ex. What you need to do is you need to create a life that's less inviting to worry, okay? So you're going to use these techniques so your life does not invite worry, does not invite anxiety back in, right? So how do we do that? It's consistency over intensity, right? So doing 5 minutes of breathing daily in the morning and at night is better than one marathon session each week, right? So if you are waiting till you come to see me on Sundays and you're waiting to do your breathing at that time, that's not going to work, even if you did it for 1 hour today. You need to do 5 minutes or 2 minutes, however long it takes you to do your breath, in the morning and at night, and be religious about it every single morning and night. I want you to focus on that breathing. You should have been doing it for the week prior, but I want you to continue to do it. Then I want you to think about those mindset shifts, right? Swap, I can handle this, for I have the tools to navigate this if this is better for you, right? One of my mantras is, I got this, I can handle it, but that's because I've done the work. So don't do that unless you believe you can, right? So instead, think about, I have the tools to navigate this. I know what to do. I need to breathe. I need to move. I need to release tension from my body, whether it's shaking or going for a walk. I need to fuel my body with healthy foods. This isn't anything new, guys. You've heard it over and over again. I'm just reiterating what you already know, okay? And then number 3 is have a support system, right? Anxiety hates community. It's true, right? Anxiety hates community. It doesn't like when people are there to help you. So share your struggles. Come here. At least you have a group here that you can feel supported on a Sunday morning, right? Or join, I'll put the link below. We have a hub that you can join that our Sunday morning folks go to. Share your struggles with them, or share with a trusted friend, anyone you can think of, because when you share your struggles, it deflates the worry, right? It deflates the worry. And so think about like a balloon with a slow leak. Every time you share, it deflates a little bit of that worry. That worry's going out. Remember when we did the breathing exercise, we breathed in and we were using grounding. So it was coming up through the roots. We were breathing in, right? We were trying to get that energy. And as we let go, we let that tension move out of our body. So that's what we want to do. Every time you let go, whether it's breathing, talking to a friend, it is part of it. So what did we learn today? That anxiety is really not your identity, right? It doesn't need to run your show. It doesn't need to. You need to change those thought patterns and say, I can do this because I have the tools necessary to help me. Small, consistent habits are what wins. Small, consistent habits. So if you don't want to change your entire diet, that's fine. You don't have to. What you can do instead, just say, one day this week, I'm going to eat salad for lunch, or I'm going to have this beautiful, bountiful bowl of vegetables on Wednesday at dinner. Small, consistent wins become habits, right? And then I want you to manifest the outcome that you want. So if you have thought about yourself and you visualized a calm, focused version of yourself, I want you to go ahead and manifest that. And how do we do that? By consistently thinking that, closing our eyes, thinking about what that feels like, what we want, and then being able to start moving towards it because we are working that way. Anxiety is really, it's like a rude house guest, right? It just invites itself in, right? But you get to decide how long it stays and if you want them to stay for dinner or not, right? So you get to decide whether you want it to stay with you or you want to banish it and say, you know what, nice to see you, but it's time to go. That's what you really want to do. So I hope this has helped. Thank you for joining us today. This is a Sunday morning 7 a.m. club, as you know. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with somebody who could use a little less worry in their life, because honestly, who couldn't, right? And then join us every Sunday. We do a live session, as you know, of calm, clarity. Join our community. The M3 formula that we are doing is really about everything we've done, but there's even more deeper level. If you're interested in it and I'm interested in going even further, then just DM me M3. You can just DM me on Instagram or reach out to me at my website, faychapple.com, and I'll gladly point you in the right direction, right? And for those of you, again, who want to join our community, it's free. Feel free. We would love you to join us and share your thoughts and let us know. So again, I'm Fay Chapple. I'm reminding you that really life is too short to let anxiety steal your joy, right? So I want you to go out there. I want you to take a deep breath and make today yours, right? And come back next week because we're going to be building on these tools so you can stay in a place of calm and take confident action towards your goals. So again, anxiety might knock, but you don't have to invite it in.
And that's a wrap for today's Sunday morning club session. Feeling inspired? Well, good. Keep riding that wave all week long. And don't forget to join me live every Sunday at 7 a.m. for real-time conversations. So if you miss a session, no worries. Grab the replays, sign up for our next big thing, and get all the juicy details at sunnymornings.club. So thanks for tuning in. Go out there and spark some magic in your life and in your business.